What's up, YouTube? Um, this is take two. I was gonna talk about greed, but I don't think I'm gonna talk about greed today. I think today I'm gonna talk about Jesus, and I'm gonna talk about psychology. Right? I'm gonna just throw some ideas out there. Can't say that any of the stuff I'm finna say is true, but it's just kind of how my mind be thinking about different things. So everybody is aware of uh, words and how we use words to um, define everything that we are experiencing. And so I had this thought. I was just, I got a homeboy. Me and him always talk about the Bible, and the way the Bible started off it was kind of interesting to me. It's like in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. And then I thought about spells, right? Okay, so now you have that you have that introduction to a book about life, and then you have all different kind of all the experiences that well a lot of the experiences that's in the book, all everybody can relate to them, right? And I ain't read the whole book front to back, so no, I don't know it all, but I do read it from time to time, weekly, right? I say weekly, I read it weekly in spurts because that's what works for me. And so in this, I'm sitting back, I'm thinking about it. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Well, you start hearing stuff growing up. I heard, you want something to happen, write it down. Okay, so I got a book, and I write stuff in my book, or I write stuff on paper, and I put it in a old shoe, or something like that, or in a shoebox, and I forget about it, leave it there for years, and then I open the paper up, and it'd be something I wrote down on a piece of paper. So I do that kind of stuff. Everybody probably don't do it, but I do it. Sometimes I keep some in my wallet or put something in my face so I can always see it. And I write a lot of stuff in a little book that I got. And so I was thinking to myself, man, what if, what if, like, the Bible is the foundation of our psychology? Whether it's the Bible, whether it's the Quran, whether it's any kind of text. I don't know all of the different religions and different parts of the religions, but you know, whatever book people use, the Torah. What if that's all a foundational like psychology, right? Of I'm not gonna say indoctrination. I could say that, but I'm not gonna say indoctrination. I would say just a blueprint for thinking, right? Because now you're gonna exist within this realm. Most people read it and then they get invested emotionally, and when you read it, well, I build pictures when I read or hear something, so I see it in a different way. And some people take it literal, and some people take it figuratively, or they see it as a bunch of allegories, whatever works for them, right? And so I'm just thinking about this, like, what if all of this stuff is psychology, and that's what separates us because we choose to believe in whatever book, right? And so now that's going to be our foundation for our moral compass because we chose to believe in that. And underneath choosing to believe in that, it's like that's the foundation of your whole world, your whole life right there, mentally, because you see yourself within God's law. You see yourself within the words of God, right? So it's either you in the favor of God or you're not in the favor of God, because you can't be lukewarm, right? And so I can't speak to no other religions, but I can speak to Christianity because growing up, that's what I was. So I'm just thinking about all this, and I'm thinking about space and all that kind of stuff. They tell you about space, and I'm like, dang, space. If I can tell you that it's billions of galaxies, everywhere, and there are that the sun is this big old ball of fire, but none of y'all have ever been there. Meaning, like the people that's being told this, like none of us have. We've never been there, so we gotta trust their word for it, right? If they tell us that when we're kids and tell you that, oh, that's the universe and this and that, all we know to do is to follow that, right? So this is the foundation of your psychology. So the sun is this big old ball of fire. The earth is blue marble. The moon is the moon. And you start accepting that over what you see, right? So I don't see a big old ball of fire when I look at the sun. I just see the sun, right? And sometimes the sun and the moon be out at the same time. And when there's a solar eclipse, just so happen the sun and the moon the same size, right? Because the moon gonna cover the sun from the distance it's supposed to be from Earth, and then it creates like that look. But it's like how, like, I don't want to know the science behind it, because it's gonna be, I'm not opposed to knowledge, but I don't want to. That's a touchy subject, so I don't really want to talk about that, I guess. Well, I don't mind talking about it, but not in this video, because you're gonna have people that are so like by the book, and they can't really see past what they think they know, right? Because nobody really know nothing. Everybody just pretending that they do. And so I'm just thinking about all this stuff. Like, damn, people really are. You can be controlled by what you see to be truth, or what you see to be reality, and then you can exist within that. So your whole life you dedicate yourself to what your religion say. You dedicate yourself to following those laws, and you always concerned with if you're being just or righteous in the eyes of God or Allah, And so now it's like easy to control you as a person if you always see yourself underneath something. Because if they tell you that the sun is a big old ball of fire and that you live in space and all this stuff, then you like, well, you feel defeated in those areas, right? Like, can't go to space. I mean, unless you go be a astronaut or something. Not sure how that works, but the odds of everybody being astronauts is slim to none, right? So I don't know. It just was a thought, man. This was a thought. We just in something, right? Like Jesus has teachings, and in those teachings, it all applies in the mind. The Quran has teachings, and in those teachings, they all apply to the mind. The body gonna follow the mind, and so now here's the foundation for your mind. Now it's great things inside of each one of these books that can be used to better yourself. On the other side, though, you just gotta ask yourself, like, why does this stuff exist? Why does it exist? Because when we kids, we're not wrong. We just kids. We were born. We didn't know. We don't know anything. So we only know what we're given. And when we're a kid, you don't concern yourself with if you gonna be righteous in the eyes of God. You don't concern yourself with none of that stuff. But when you become an adult and you start, they saying, hey, look, these are the rules, now follow the rules and do this. So now you start doing it, and then it's like, sometimes you don't feel right. Other times you do. Sometimes you're so afraid and you don't know no other way, so you go real deep into it. And then you go so deep into it to where you be psyched out. And now people deem you as crazy, or you might do something that is heinous, or you might harm somebody just for the sake of what you believe in. And you can't see yourself because you fully invested in that belief, but that belief has caused so much pain and suffering to others in this world, in this life. I believe in this, so you're wrong. I believe in that, so you're wrong. But it's like, no animals know anything about none of this stuff. They don't concern themselves with this stuff. All right, none of them. The gorillas don't. The monkeys don't. The birds don't. Like none of the no animals concern themselves with any of this stuff. We do. And so it's just like, I don't know. These are just thoughts, things that I think about, and we all trying to live, man. We all trying to figure it out. Some people want to tell me to pray. Trust me, I pray. I'm not struggling. I don't have a chaotic life. My life is real peaceful. Really, 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 really peaceful. So I'm thankful for that. You know what I'm saying? But this is just something that kind of just had me thinking, right? The what if part of it. Because you can what if anything. It don't mean that it's true, don't mean it's going to happen, but you can what if anything. So just thinking like, dang, what if, right? The psychology. So if you embrace the psychology of Christ, doesn't that mean you become Christ? The world going to tell you no, right? Because people didn't really embrace Christ. Some people did, but a lot of people didn't. And so because they didn't really embrace him, what that mean, right? It's crazy though, because everybody claim, a lot of people claim that they they're going to heaven, or they're one of God's children, or they're a chosen one, or whatever they is. And then it's like, if Christ was to come and their true selves had to be exposed, how would that go? How would that go? Like if you really had to be seen, they had to really see you, your ins and your outs, right? Would you really be who you present yourself to be? Like, would you be clean in the eyes of God? Or, you just like to talk about it. You just like to pretend that you this way, but you can't really commit to living this way. The psychology, right? It's all an idea. It's all thoughts. Because they words. So in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So whoever controls the Word is what? God. Okay, well, it might be too much. Because I control the words too, right? So what if I wrote a book, and I was very particular in that book that I wrote, and I was very imaginative, and I took this book and I hid it, and I buried it somewhere, and I called it Eternal Quest, right? And then I just put all my stories in there, all my knowledge, all my life experiences, and I wrote it out. I had characters and it had names, and it was a real nice story with different chapters. And I hid it for 2,000 years. If somebody found it, what would that be considered? What would I be considered? I don't know, man. I know I'm foolish, so I mean, whoever judging, that's okay. I'm aware of my foolishness. It's just my thoughts, right? I got a mind to sit with the world and sit with myself and think all these different things. So why not? Why not sit with it? Oh, well, you sitting with the devil? No, I ain't. I know what temptation look like. This ain't temptation. I'm not concerned about tomorrow for real. I'm good, I'm good. I'm great, actually. God is good. God is great. I said, well, why you questioning like you questioning? Just because. I mean, why not? Right? What good is it? If you stop growing, my relationship is strong with the Most High, with the Creator. So within that, I'm constantly growing. And these are just thoughts, from a psychological standpoint. That's because that's what we exist within. We exist within the psychology. All right, that's enough, man. I've said enough on here for today. I'm rambling, and I don't be feeling like it's the best thing for me to do on YouTube, is to ramble like that, because you just put yourself out there for people to do whatever with. And I mean, I don't really care, because at the end of the day, you know, like I said, I'm blessed. But it's just some thoughts for whoever decided to listen. So that's all I got for y'all today. It's my fasting day. It's almost over with. And y'all take it easy, man.